Hey, welcome everybody. Brian from EV Sportline. Today I'm going to introduce our new Sport Appearance Graphics Stripe Kit for the Rivian R1S and R1T. I'm going to go through what comes with the kit, the optional installation package, and then we're going to go through step by step how to install it on the truck. Let's go ahead and get started. First thing, the kit comes with the vinyl. This is a 3M automotive grade vinyl. We've CNC cut this on our plotter, so you'll get both the driver's side and the passenger side vinyl. You're going to get a squeegee for the installation and a pair of tweezers, which will help you with picking out the graphics once we've installed it on the truck. Then the optional installation kit is going to be a microfiber wash towel, some of the proper prep soap, a clay bar for micro finishing the surface before we install the graphics, some masking tape, and microfiber towels. If you have those things, great. If you want to get a complete package with everything you need, go ahead and get the kit for the graphics and the installation kit. Let's go ahead and get started. I've got a bucket down here and I've already put some of our prep wash in with the water, and I've got a clay bar in the bucket. Now, the prep wash that we use is specially formulated to remove any wax or polish or grease from the vehicle. Most car washes you buy these days are infused with wax or polish, which is great for regular washing, but I don't want any wax or polish getting underneath the decals, so we have this special wash. So the truck is generally clean, and I want to make sure the area where we're installing these graphics right here is just properly washed down. Now, I've already washed this once, but we'll go through it and you'll see it as well. Now, on the clay bar that we include with the kit, this is just a micro finishing compound, and if you add some soapy water to this, you can glide this across the entire surface where you're going to install the graphics, and this is going to take off any stubborn road grime or anything that wouldn't just come off when you're regularly washing the truck. You'll know you've done it well when it just glides on the truck, and you can look at it and sometimes see some black residue, meaning you successfully micro polished that area. I'm going to go back now and just wash it off after I've used the clay bar one last time and make sure the general area is clean. And you can take our microfiber towels, which are included in the kit as well, and I'm just going to dry this off, make sure the area is perfectly clean and ready to go. Okay, now next thing we're going to do is get familiar with the graphics. We have multiple versions of the graphics. Some include varying logos. We have the EV Sportline logo, we have the Team 1 EV logo, we have an R-Max version, and then we have a simple black one. As far as difficulty of installing, the more graphics, a little harder to install. The solid black one is the easiest one to install because you're not messing around with weeding out those graphics, and I'll go through that in a minute. But I'm going to get familiar here and just see how the graphics are designed to line up in the back with the taillight. We don't go into this subsection of the quarter panel, we go right up to the edge of it. It's not a perfect science. There'll be a little bit of variation in the Rivian from the stamping process, but I'm going to line up this top edge with the top edge of the taillight. And then we're going to look at the top edge of the graphic and just keep it equal with this body line here. And it should fit right before the back of the door. Now, I'm going to have you come in close and we'll go through how to set this up on the truck and how to do the installation next. I'm going to go ahead and set the graphic up here, and again, just get familiar with where this is going to be on the truck. Now let's put the graphic aside for a second. I'm going to take my masking tape and pull off a couple of pieces, put them up here out of the way for now. Let's come back with the graphic and put it up on the truck and just generally get an idea where this is going to line up. So again, I don't want to be in this trough here where it drops down. I want to be just in front of that, and then I want to line up my graphics. I'm going to use a piece of tape just hold this where I want this back here. And then I'm gonna go up toward the front, and I wanna get this gap between the body edge and the top of my backing tape. I wanna get that where it's perfectly parallel and equal. Okay, just temporarily held up here. I'm gonna take a step back, make sure I'm not in this depression back here. I'm just on the front edge of that. And then make sure the front is not extending up on the door. Everything looks pretty close to where I'm gonna want it. You could take your time here, double check this, triple check this. Now, once I'm happy with the placement, I'm gonna take a piece of masking tape and I am going to pull off a section that will fit in between my two pieces of tape up top. And I am going to just mark that upper edge. And that's just a guide piece of tape. So when I go to put the film down, I know if I go up over that tape, I'm off track. So a little guide tape there. I'll take one more piece of tape. Now this time, I'm gonna go just in front of our logo here and right on the very edge of the mountain. And I'm going to put this down on the body. Now that's gonna be my hinge for putting this on. I'll go back here. First, I wanna grab my squeegee and I'm gonna put that in my pocket so I can grab it, but everything looks good. Double check it now. I'm gonna go to the back. I'm gonna carefully pull off my tape. Pull this off on an angle. You don't wanna just pull it off because you could pull the vinyl off the backing, but put that piece of tape out of the way for now. Okay, I'm going to gently fold this over and I'm going to carefully peel the decal back. And you can see on the bottom, I don't want any of the letters or anything to stick to the backing tape. If they do, you want to back up a little bit, maybe use your finger on this side, and you're going to make sure you need clean hands too. But let's pull that all the way back here. And the static is gonna hold that up there. Now, I'm gonna grab my scissors and come in here and cut the backing off. Okay, so the static of the vinyl is holding that. I've pulled it off the backing. I don't need this anymore. I'm gonna put that aside. I've got my squeegee right here. Now I'm going to grab this decal, hold this up, and I'm going to carefully use the squeegee and just start using the squeegee very gently, work my way back. I don't want to change the angle of the film at all. So the film is guiding itself. And if it gets a little off track, you can pick it up and come back a little bit. Make sure you have no bubbles, no major bubbles. I'm just gonna slowly work my way back. Okay, now, the decal is lined up. If it's not lined up, I can go back in here and adjust it. Maybe I need to go up or down a little bit. But it should be pretty easy to get it lined up. Now, I'm going to carefully use the squeegee with a little more force and put the decal on. You want to be careful over the edges, anywhere it's cut out, and anywhere there's letters, these little cutouts, the squeegee is going to be prone to stick, so you can use your finger and push this down. So use your finger or the squeegee. You can see there the squeegee wanted to grab the edge. You want to be careful with that. But I've got that on track. Now I'm going to go to the front of this, pull off my tape, go back to my hinge, pull that back off, and I'm going to grab this backing and just with the soft edge do the same thing. Pull a little bit at a time. And it should move along a straight line. Okay, we'll take a look now. It looks good. I can go in with my squeegee, carefully work down the edges. Now at this point, you should take a look if you have any little air bubbles. This is a air release type film. You can use your finger to tap it down. But generally the vinyl decal should be flat. Now we're going to get into weeding out the letters. I'm going to start up here with the big mountain cutout. Now with my tweezers, at the bottom of the middle of the mountain there's a flat part that I'm going to use the tweezers and you just want to grab the vinyl. You don't want to poke through and scratch your paint, but you can very easily grab this vinyl with your tweezers and kind of pick it up and pull it back a little bit. Okay, and once that's separated, I can carefully pull it up. For instance, on the top, I may have to hold the vinyl a little bit in place. And anywhere it's cut out, I need to hold down the part that stays on the truck and just pick up the insert. So here at this corner, you can see it wants to grab that little leg. I can use my finger in there to hold it down. And then it's easy, it's relatively easy to do the front part here. Just want to be careful as you pull this off that the mountain doesn't pull up anywhere else. Now, go around the edges. I'd recommend using your finger. Now here's a situation where we got a little bit of a bubble. So we have a little bubble in here. I'm gonna pull up the vinyl, use my squeegee, go back down. I'm gonna use my finger on this thin part of the vinyl, just tap it down. Tap it in place. You don't wanna create any wrinkles. But if you have any little wrinkles like that, you can pull up the film. Pretty forgiving at this point. I'm just gonna keep going across the whole thing and make sure I've tapped it down. Okay, now that you've got a little familiarity with weeding out the letters, we can move back here. And again with the tweezers, I'm gonna bring in some light now, some close-up light where we can see this. You might wanna bring a friend in here. And it's the same strategy on this front E. I'm going to pick up the front edge of the E with my tweezers and then pull it back. This, you just want to take your time. It's tedious work, but you have a little patience. You don't want to pick through the vinyl, okay? So I've picked that little piece off. And the reason we do this is to keep the long, skinny, unsupported legs or the centers of the letters perfectly aligned. I've found the best way to do it is if you leave this vinyl in place to guide it, and then go back and pick out the vinyl you don't want. It tends to line things up better than if we use transfer tape. Now, for the R, I'm gonna work on the back and bottom, and I'm gonna try to separate it from the center of the R by just pulling it back a little bit and pulling it up. And then I can go and pull it forward. I've just got to grab the back edge. So you can see I pushed down on the back edge of the center part. Just want to make sure that doesn't come off with this piece. Now I'm going to use my finger and tap that down. The O is not too bad. I can pick the back side. And again, if you stretch it, once you've picked it off, stretch it a little bit, then you can loosen it from the center part. Okay, we pulled that off. The P is like the R. I'm going to work on the back edge. Get it popped off. Pull it back a little bit to stretch it. Okay, and the S, I'm going to take the top carefully. I may have to hold the middle of the S and the bottom. Okay. Now, let's pull off all of our guide tape. And this is air release film, so I can go now and tap down on the whole decal. Make sure we have no bubbles. You could use the squeegee in spots, but you just want to be careful with the edges. At this point, tapping it down with your hand works great. Okay. And that's going to do it for the installation. Now, this will need to sit in the sun a little bit, and once it's in the sun, you may get some bubbles. You can go back with your thumb and tap down the bubbles, but within a day of being in the sun, the glue on the vinyl is activated, and this will be secure on your truck and ready for enjoyment. We're going to replicate the same thing on the other side of the truck, and then you're done. Okay, the big reveal, check it out. What do you guys think? Make sure you drop a comment below. Let us know what you think of the graphics and which one would you go with, the black one, the EV Sportline 1EV, or R Max. All right, everybody, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel. We got a lot more Rivian content coming your way soon.